Hi, my name is Sumedh, and I'm a product designer and a graphic designer. And I've been maintaining Sketchbook since a long time, and it's been a part of me in synthesizing reality and just observing things around me, making a note so that I can understand the process of how we perceive things, or uh, what is something which interests me. And also it for me it's like a platform, or a way to experiment on something which is so tactile, so tangible. And I would like to take you through some of the sketches. So these are some of the sketches where I try doing research about uh, certain thing. And over here I was doing research on bamboo. um, what are the different uses of the material, and how can we explore the material. So basically this kind of note making guides me to put my thoughts in a very organized way, and makes me come to that thought of like why I absorb them in a particular way, and um, how am I understanding the context around it in a better way. Yeah, so these are more like line drawings along with a certain kind of lettering style I've been doing, and the idea is to have a lot of information put in one page so that I can make a better sense out of it. Yeah, so it's it's basically becomes a way to work uh, with information, uh, putting quick doodles, and um, creating information so that it's intuitive for me to like ideate. At the same time, it becomes something nicer for me to get back and retrospect on what I wrote, and can it be made more informative so for anyone to even have a look. um, yeah. So yeah, some of these are like just like thoughts which occur to me. Could be some clippings from a magazine or a blog, which I'm just sort of which resonates with me, and I, in whatever way, like lettering or just using this whole area as a way to compose the information by the type, the lettering. So yeah, like if I'm reading through something, it becomes like a way to um, absorb about a location, about what this place is, and like just understanding the idea behind something from history. And yeah, so pretty much it's just like um, how can I make the information interesting, um, not just to read, but to come back to, and it sort of aids in um, remembering it in a better way. So I keep putting some post-its, or just while I'm listening to something, I think just looking at the type lettering, how just looking at the font, the contrast, uh, and yeah, it's something which I see a lot of harmony. I see a lot of rhythm, and yeah. Yeah, so since I've studied product design, a lot of it becomes like a way to understand like form, understanding materials, um, and if something something inspires me, just this way of line art sketch work makes me put things in context. Yeah. Yeah. So these are some of the ideations. Uh, just like looking at stuff, looking at uh, some Insta post, something which gives me a certain kind of trigger, becomes like a way. And I think having like a grid really aids in having a better sense of composition. So I think I started with dot grids and checks, and slowly over a period of time, it sort of became like a way to organize the information in whatever way I can imagine. So some of these sketches is just like um, since I worked in accessories industry, so it also is a way to understand usability of certain kind of bags and certain kind of product. So in that way, my way of ideation sort of differs. Then it becomes a lot more about functionality and how I can use my understanding of form, understanding of material, but also doing this sketch note making so that I can, even after scanning it from here, I can pretty much make someone understand about the detailing, and yeah, just giving an idea of how the form is. Some of them are just understanding brands, brand persona, and just trying to investigate of all the minute details from the brand, the voice, the tone. So I think a lot of times for me, it becomes a way to gain more and more by the act of writing to know more about something. And I think this act of writing itself, in a form of sketch doodle, sort of helps me to uh, go more deeper rather than just like looking at it or listening to it. It becomes more of a kinesthetic experience. Also, if you would see, the writing sort of differs depending on how much of time I had. If it's something very quick, then the lettering is sort of very jumbled up, or it's not that readable. But as per a bit of convenience, I think over a time it sort of has built in a way that it has become sort of a practice. The things start becoming more legible and readable, and it communicates even um, in a sort of uh, quick duration of making notes. Yeah. So I would like to switch from here to something which I've been doing more recently, which is like going away from the sketch doodles to more of abstract. So the idea is to not be affixed to certain things, but uh, working from my mind, like my mind, my psyche, and use my hand in a very subconscious way of putting these doodles out. So it takes the form of these line art or abstract lines, and I've been working with this just so that I'm trying to break away from that order which I've been working on and get into a space which also embraces a bit of chaos, but also it is somewhere in between where I'm within the boundaries of creating order. I'm working with chaos. Yeah, at certain places it'll be about um, just trying to absorb reality. So some sketches, and yeah, some foliage, but it's pretty much something out of my head where I'm just working with the form just by creating a certain set of lines and then creating like a depth by adding certain details, which probably just manifest as I sketch them. So yeah, it's like a mixed bag of just trying to absorb something which is in front of me and something which is also not in front of me. Um, so some of my plants, I have a lot of plants at home, and one of the thing of having these plants is to take care, nurture them, and also the form which has uh, there's certain intelligence with which they propagate or they grow. So I'm trying to understand the beauty which is there in them, and I'm trying to understand um, how their structure is and how it differs from each. And yeah, I think it's just like working with certain style. Yeah, sometimes just making some concept art, and yeah, something just like flowing out of my head, just thinking in terms of um, the state of my mind which I'm in and how I can put that out. um, Sometimes just build up of patterns. I'm just trying to work with a medium, a certain kind of consistency, and sometimes it ends up being like a fish. um, yeah, and maybe like a tree, uh, just using chisel tip pen. So it for me it's more over any kind of medium I take. I let the medium guide me to create a certain composition or a form, the way it sort of behaves on paper. Maybe the texture, maybe the thickness of it, and what can I do with it, with the kind of thing or the style, very unconsciously uh, coming on paper. These all are pretty much just exercises of using certain kind of medium and see how the color blend is happening. And once I see that there's somewhere, I see some exploration, some experimentation, and then I sort of extrapolate it either by creating some works, or just let it guide me um, to capture things with that new understanding or accident, I would say. It is fun to create something just out of the head, um, by not really being affixed to what might end up um, being on the paper, but by just going with the flow and not have any kind of baggage of ideas. It's just putting it out. Yeah, sometimes it can be um, just like, the news I'm consuming, the thoughts which I'm having, or maybe I'm in a phone conversation, and I think sometimes those phone conversation take certain shape and form, and sometimes the lines will guide me to make a Nataraja, and yeah, just work out with the figure ground relationship of these lines against the background, and how the mind sort of fills the whole uh, character, even though I've not drawn it completely. So this become like a meditation for me, to just work out with the lines, work out with the composition, becomes like a way for me to align with my thought or the state of mind I am in. Like, as you can see, there are all these lines which are pretty much in sort of a progression. They, even though they have a sense of harmony, the whole shapes are very chaotic, but inherently they have some order to them. So I think a lot of times our life is full of chaos, but we somehow try to put order into it. I think for me, it becomes more of that, of working with order and chaos, and also having fun and play in between. Yeah, there'll be some strange character once in a while in my sketchbook, and yeah, I think one should not stop uh, oneself from exploring whatever is coming at the moment, in one's head. And yeah, I think a lot of time it's just like looking at some plant and just getting certain triggers, and just creating something out of the blue. Yeah, and a lot of times these subconscious thought take these kind of organic shapes, and I like being playful with these kind of shapes, and it also becomes like a way for me to understand, like, um, that in nature everything, nothing is like, like absolutely straight or absolutely geometric. So we being like life forms, um, all everything around us has so much of like detailing, from the cell structure to the way we as our organisms are. And when I create these, I sort of try relating like what these shapes are emerging, how are they manifesting from my head, and yeah, so it's pretty ongoing to understand these formation of shapes, and yeah, just using these organic lines. Sometimes I try giving context of um, like watching, consuming news, and just feeling this lack of empathy, or yeah, just this thought of how we are going away from the heart or the compassion, like we're not being able to take any stand uh, with even with so much of stuff which is going wrong in and around us. So yeah, I think a lot of these thoughts they've started taking shape through these the way I've been working around with these lines. So I think this is somewhat I've been exploring lately. Um, yeah, yeah. As I said, something which is just like manifesting out of my head, and a lot of time it's more of how I take the medium and see by lightly hatching it. So this is a ball pen, not a ball pen, sorry, a gel pen. But just by keeping at a very steep angle, this kind of hatching gives this kind of effect. So a lot of time it becomes like an exercise to understand how the medium behaves and how far can you take that. Yeah. So like it's a gel pen, but still I was trying to hatch it and see how I can work with certain composition, and I think that gives me more trigger to create something around those lines. So it becomes like a self-initiated practice by not really looking at other stuff, but more engaging with the medium and how can you push it to create something. So it's just yep. So yep. Thank you, and hope it gave you some bit of insight about my sketchbook and my processes, and how I go about taking note. So
Thank you.
thank you.